Hi there, I'm Christine Cheever, and welcome to the All Friends Cabaret. It's the show that connects you. Tonight we have a variety of performance for you. Later on in the program, Paul Carroll and Mike Travers are here to perform some of their wonderful jazz music. But first, we have a wonderful guest who's an accomplished author, Diane Purdy.
Hi.
Diane, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
You were a musician first in your life, but you've also, over the years, you've written plays, you've taught kids theater, and you've written recently the Bedraggled Dragon, a children's book. So let's start at the beginning. You're from this area?
I'm from Quincy.
Okay.
I was born in 33.
Okay.
And I went to Willard School and then South Junior, which is now Sterling.
All right.
And graduated from Quincy High School in 51.
Oh, wow.
You know,
wow.
so during the course of all that, I was a violinist, yes. I was, doing the music. My family were all professional musicians. My
Yes.
uncle played cornet with the Boston Pops, the symphony. My mother was a brilliant pianist.
So it was in your home.
It was there.
Yes.
Yeah, it was there. That's all I had heard. But somehow, when I was a senior in high school, I had a trio called the Starlets, and we were around singing, and we were doing a show with Al Contrino. Is that what his name was? He was an amazing accordion player. And we were at Quincy High School, and we were waiting for the backstage, and there were young men. We were in the green room. Two young boys asked me where I was going to college, and I said I really hadn't decided yet. And they went to Emerson, and they got me spurred on.
To
And
that, because
so-
what we have in common is we
Yeah.
both have theater degrees.
Right.
So I'm interested to see what was your lead into theater.
Yep.
Because I stumbled upon it at the University of Maine. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I loved the stage, and I thought, well, do something that you like.
Right.
And that's what I said to myself when I was trying to figure it out. And then I fell into theater, acting, singing. It was, I was
right.
glad that I pursued that
Absolutely.
for myself. So tell me about.
Yeah, well, that's what I basically, they said, you're going to fit right in here. You'll love this. It was zany.
Okay.
It was small. It isn't like it is now. It's huge.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, and, since then I've become very involved with them. I was, for 3 years, I was president of the New England their alumni association. And it's a wonderful college, but it wasn't like what it was back in
Right.
52, when I was there.
So you came from your family was musical. What got you into the writing piece of it?
I knew when I was in the 3rd grade and I wrote my first book for the 3rd grade teacher that I was a writer. And that's never been any doubt in my mind of that. And I've just had a lot of feedback
Was
over the
it
years.
stories? Was it journaling? What
She
was it
wanted
for
us
you?
to write a story. Well, I'd been telling stories to my younger sister and brother and cousins and scaring the poop out of them. Pardon me,
Okay,
we
no,
have to
that's
cut
good
that,
time.
And so I wrote some stories, and I couldn't just do one. I decided I'd do a few stories. I'd do one of those graphs, and you're going to try to get into the middle. I did all sorts of things for this one book. The teacher was like, I just asked for.
It's like, what did you do?
Yeah, that's-
I have a novel to read. No, just.
And so
But it spurred
it just
some
got me
excite-
so excited to
Yes.
put down all these things I'd been creating in my head.
So
down.
you go to college and you
Yep.
get your theater degree, and then you then started a children's program that was
Yeah.
years long. Tell me about that.
That I ended up having 4 children first, and my youngest one, Jody Purdy Quinlan, was very interested in being in the plays at the local regional theaters, Curtain Call Theater and things like that. And at that point, I thought, I don't really want my 9-year-old daughter in the adult theater atmosphere,
right,
you know?
right.
But she really wants to learn how to act. So I just rounded up a bunch of kids from the neighborhood. I had a big house in North Weymouth by this time.
Yeah.
And I started the Diane Purdy Children's Theater Workshop.
All right.
And then I put the shows on in the local church, the Third Universalist in Weymouth.
Yet you wrote all your plays.
I found out very quickly there weren't anything, there was nothing out
Right,
there that
right.
gave all the kids a good amount of lines.
And what in you knew that each kid needed a part. Because a lot of times it's like
Yeah.
you have to try out for that musical. And
No.
there's a place for
Yeah.
that where you have the
Yeah.
lead and the
Yeah.
supporting cast.
Right.
You, working with kids, realized, hey, everybody needs a shot.
I thought we should have drama by doing. You can't teach somebody you've taken the courses
Yes.
with what we're learning in 101 theater class. Stage right, stage left, down, right, down, left, up, right.
Right, right.
I mean, what does that have to do with learning to act?
Right. And so
Yeah.
you felt each kid would have the part. So you wrote. So
Yeah.
what type? Give me an example of one of the plays that you put together.
Well, one of them was
were
called.
they based on stories already?
They were things. No, these were all created right from my head.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have.
There's a lot going on
I
in
have
there.
a very strange head. You're going-
It's really.
So they came. I had decided I had Kisso the bear, and I had this whole way he was going to come, and everything was going to work out the way I had planned in the script. And then my characters become very ingrained in me. I type correctly, so all I have to do is hit, Control E and it's centered, and
Right.
Control L and I'm writing. So I don't have to be looking down like that. I can just see what they're saying. So they do a lot of talking for themselves, things that I had not planned on them saying, they're saying in front on the screen.
And when you would have a workshop, would it start with the one play in mind that you would do with the 10 kids? Would they sign up for 3 plays that they would be in? How would that work? Was it a
No, I
summer?
met them in September and did 4 plays in January, met in February and did 4 plays in June, and then I had a 2-week summer course, and I did 2 plays for Woodard School where I was doing the shows, and I did first night for Quincy. So there were a lot of plays I was doing a year.
Wow. So how many have you written total? Do you
Probably 50.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I mean, over the years, I would take that play because it fit this group of kids that came in, and then rewrite for this class and say, you had a real major role.
Right.
I could give you a part and extend it for you in this. But I wanted the kids to know what it felt like to not have to audition, to know they were guaranteed a good role. Just because you were handsome, you didn't have to be the prince. I would make you a villain in the melodrama. You got to feel that other side that was never going to happen if you auditioned any place. You were going to get cast
It's
in
a
what you look
belonging.
like.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
that's
Yeah.
great. It's really making everyone feel included. And,
Right.
And it's a lot of what I like to express here in the All Friends Cabaret, that really everyone does have a talent to share and express, and you want to give them that
Right.
chance.
Find out what it feels like. Say you're not that tall and you're a little dumpy. To find out what it feels like to be a prince.
Yes.
In one of my plays, I'd put you in as a prince,
Oh, that's nice.
just to see what this feels like.
So what was your biggest inspiration growing up for this creativity that sparked from you? Any
I don't-
influences or
I
inspiration?
really have no idea. It all came out of me.
It's
I
just
did
that
have
brain
one-
of hers.
That one that's going crazy. I have one grandmother that made up stories, and basically in the family we considered her a basic liar. Okay, so I don't know whether I got something from her, but hopefully I constructed it a little nicer than that.
Yeah, no, but that's great what you did for kids, giving them a lot of,
Yeah.
just confidence. And
Absolutely. There were no cliques in my class. I'm only 5 foot tall, and if I shake my finger at you, they all quiet and go up on the stage.
Great, that's great.
Yeah.
So now let's move along to your children's book that you recently wrote.
Right.
And if anyone has an opportunity to go online and look up the Patriot Ledger, they did a great article on
Very
you.
nice.
It
Very,
was a very
very
nice
nice.
article
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
vast career. But let's take a look at, you wrote this book
It's at
last
the
year.
Yep.
And it's called The Bedraggled Dragon. So tell me what got you going to write a children's
Okay,
book.
that one is a little bit of a story. I met over the internet a woman that wrote to me and asked me. She's a published writer. She has books dealing with those salmonwood dogs,
Oh, all right.
and that's Hero, and that's Kobe, and she has a bunch of them on the
what's her
market.
name? Her name
Her
is-
name is Susan Amundsen,
Okay.
as we can see there.
Yeah.
And she called me. Well, she emailed me. Nobody calls anybody anymore.
Right.
And she emailed and asked me would I consider if she could commission me to write a play from her book.
Nice.
Well, this took place where they have Eskimos and they're building, it was, I thought, okay, now we're going to have 28 scenes. And,
But see,
so,
it's that brain. Let
yeah,
me tell you.
so
Pull it out. Yeah.
I proceeded to do that, which it's getting done in New York and Minnesota.
Oh, wonderful.
So I changed the title from a Child's Happy Heart, which is delightful to read. I recommend it. And this is, Happy Heart Heals, and it's in a play form.
Oh, that is really
Right,
wonderful.
and this can be done in 35 minutes in a classroom setting. That's what she wanted.
So nice.
So,
So then it transferred to this creative new.
this crazy brain said, gee, Diane, if you could take a book and make it into a play, why don't you take one of your plays and make it into a book?
Okay, so you
So
wrote
that
the
was
Bedraggled Dragon.
Which had originally been a play.
All right, and so the basic themes of this book.
He's a very bad boy. He breaks his promise to Brunhilde the fairy.
All right.
And he goes down to the bad waterfall area where Nasty Gnome is, who proceeds to give him these berries that have evil mist on them. And he, instead of being this gorgeous creature that he is, I'll show you the picture where they tie you at the end. They got all these pages in here, and I have old lady fingers.
Well, I could help you. I'm just kind of hanging out here.
Yeah, you could, that's what he was. He was the dragon to end all dragons.
And so the major theme to tell kids about this is
don't break promises and be responsible for your own actions.
All right.
So that's the theme in this, and so he went from bedraggled back to himself again.
All right.
So that was the major part of the whole. It was delightful as a play.
No, that's wonderful.
It was taking 3 kids' parts and putting it into 6.
Oh, wow.
It was very, very involved.
And so did it take you a long time?
It took a long time to be able to bring it down. The music comes in handy with me because I always read everything I write for anybody and make sure it flows. And sometimes I have to add a modifier. Sometimes I have to take one out. And just to keep the flow going so that people don't say, now I got to go back and read that again.
Right.
And so that's where being a musician comes in handy.
That's helpful.
It really was very helpful in writing.
So now with your vast career and just your wonderful talent, my goal on this show is to share stories like yours, but then also to encourage my guests to come on the program and share
Absolutely.
a story